Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mainstream Indie Music channel. We talk about all things indie music. If you are one of the 600 or so subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing, and I hope you enjoy this video. And if you are a guest, very special shout out to you. Thank you for deciding to check out this video. Let's get to it. Bloc Party, Silent Alarm, A Weekend in the City, Banquet, Helicopter, Intimacy, 4, Matt Tong, Kelly Okereke. I can keep going in the Bloc Party lore, right? I want to give a little backstory to this. This is almost a part 2 video. I made a video already about Bloc Party, and this video I wanted to go a little bit more in depth because there's a lot of layers to the story of this band. One layer is maybe contradictory to this video title. Maybe you think, hey, Bloc Party is mainstream, right? Maybe they're not pop music. Maybe they're not well known of a band as definitely a major artist like Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, whatever. Maybe in the indie world, you might think they're plenty big. I would put up there with bands like Death Cab for Cutie. I would put them up there with bands like Arcade Fire, so on and so forth, Bon Iver. They're up there. Other fans, especially if you're from the UK or if you're from Western Europe, you still might disagree with the title. You might still say, hey, I know a ton of people that listen to Bloc Party. And you know what? To be fair to you, I wouldn't completely disagree with that. If anything, it's kind of funny when I was going over the title of this video, at first I wanted to make it seem very, I wanted to make it edgy, in a way of trying to get people to watch the video. But then I kind of thought about it and I'm like, well, no, because I want to talk about this in a pure art form. And to me, discussing Bloc Party in an art form is just too complex than saying a black or white statement. Okay, they are very popular. Okay, they are not very popular. Rather, this is just going to be an in-depth look about why they aren't in that kind of pop mainstream. What if they did? What were some things that kind of thrust them into the spotlight and then maybe even started to hold them back, right? Because there's no question, if we start the beginning, I guess you could say section 1 of this video, Silent Alarm might even be bigger than the band themselves. If you were to show a music collector, a musician, kind of like a music junkie, that album cover, they would almost know and recognize the album cover before they even got into Bloc Party themselves. I almost guarantee it. Silent Alarm is just massive. Massive, massive appeal. To give you perspective on how much work Bloc Party did and how big Bloc Party was, Silent Alarm was released in 2005. Their second album, A Weekend in the City, was released in 2007. And then Intimacy, their third album, was released in 2008. However, this brings me to one of the first points about why I wonder Bloc Party didn't get bigger than they were. On top of all of those things, they released so many side LPs, side EPs, bonus albums, I guess you could even call them, of new unreleased music that didn't make the cut of the album. Now, granted, while many bands have and feature songs that, don't make the cut of an album, that maybe they release a greatest hits album and they'll kind of sprinkle in a few unreleased songs, it is absolutely wild to think of the number of extra songs, versions of songs, songs released like electronica, almost dubstep before it got big, of course, makes you wonder if they could never really settle on which songs to release on the albums and which ones not to release. Now, sometimes That's not a bad thing, right? Like I said before, A Weekend in the City is probably, or I'm sorry, Silent Alarm is probably one of the biggest indie albums to date. However, you do start to question why they had so many unreleased songs that didn't make the original cut. And you just have to wonder what would happen if they maybe had a different order. However, that's not the purpose of this video. Like I said, it's more of why they didn't go into the mainstream. That leads me along back into the timeline discussion of things, because after Intimacy was released, they went on a short hiatus. And what was interesting is during that time period, Kelly Okereke released some solo music that the style of it was wildly different than the type of music that Bloc Party released. It was heavy usage of electronic. He did come back. Bloc Party did reunite to release 4, and they have released other albums since, but noticeably, their drummer Matt Tong is gone and no longer with the band, along with their bass player Gordon Mokes. A lot of Bloc Party listeners have said that Matt Tong was the real heart of the band. And you just have to wonder if Matt Tong has said in interviews that he did not get along with Kelly at times according to musical style and delivery. So you have to wonder that if Bloc Party got kind of one direction together as a group and kind of came together collectively in that way, maybe they would have gotten better. However, one major last point that I have, Bloc Party is once again falling victim to just being an indie rock band of the 2000s, where sadly they have all the talent in the world, but it just never stuck to a grand worldwide audience. That wraps it up for me, though. I'd like to hear what y'all think. Do you think Bloc Party could have gotten bigger than they did?